Hello everybody, welcome to another SciCraft video. This is a bit of a special one. We're touring the SciCraft server with a group of people showing the witch farm project, which finally got finished, or is at least in a state where it's presentable. We might want to add more witch farms later. So if you have seen all the SciCraft episodes already, a lot of the things will be quite familiar already, but in the end we actually got a surprise which hasn't been shown. Also, this video will be quite long. We had a special guest this time. MumboJumbo joined the server. I'm really excited because MumboJumbo was one of the first YouTubers I followed when I got into Minecraft, and I'm really excited that he joined us for the server tour. And yeah, there was a lot of talk and rambling just showing off the server. In total, this video will probably be about 2 hours long. But if you're not really interested in all the rambling and explaining in between, I can also recommend maybe just watch the server tour on Rego's channel. He cut it down to 45 minutes. Also, MumboJumbo will release a video probably next Tuesday. So I will put a link in the video description to Rego's video, and as soon as Mumbo releases the video, we'll also link it there. But now, without further ado, let's get started with the server tour.
Hello guys! This is again Dragon42 to go with the SciCraft crew. Hey guys!
Hello.
Hello.
So we're finally back for another server tour, and well, since we took so long since the last one, I thought you'd be lagging one, and well, speaking of lag, the usual culprit is our guest today. Had to take that joke. So yeah, welcome Mumbo, thanks for joining us today. Hope
No
you will
problem.
enjoy the
Thank
tour.
you for introducing me in such a fitting way. I mean, you know.
Lag is
We
not
actually
your
have to
fault.
say he wasn't the worst offender when we did some tests on an old Hermitcraft world, so
I'm very proud
Gotta
of that.
give you
Thank
that much
You're trying to
credit.
save my reputation, yeah.
Never first place.
alright, so yeah, today you might get easily confused which farm we are actually looking at some point, because
Right.
there's gotta be quite a lot.
Okay. there's plenty
So
of
yeah, I
things.
suggest we head right off and we actually start at our quad perimeter, so that way over there.
Should we maybe take a look at the subway map first?
Later.
Yeah.
Later.
Oh, wait, yeah, since we're here, we got some cool updates. We went a bit crazy on, well, we could say on the map making. So these are all maps that we actually built in one of our unused perimeters.
This is
Specifically in the Mesa Quarry perimeter. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty neat map, and
So
it's
these
pretty
all-
large.
So these are all witch huts, and then ice farm, furnace array, flower farms, witch stuff. Man, this is totally ridiculous.
We have a lot
Now.
of stuff.
That map is beautiful. I gotta just
Yeah.
gotta say it. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, in case someone missed our Discord server, get your phones out.
Yeah,
Alright,
so there's 500,000 blocks to place, but it actually did it in one day.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, how many maps is this? That's
25.
25.
640 by 640 blocks. That's about 420,000, I think.
wow.
Quick math.
And you had to color code all of this, write out everything. I mean, I'm assuming it's not to scale, but they're kind of suggestions as to where things are.
Yeah, so we kind of got the city area in the middle, is just all the closer farms, and some of the
Yep.
destinations are up to almost 10,000 blocks away. But yeah, this is not to scale, it's just like a subway map to indicate where everything is.
This is absolutely beautiful.
And every
So,
line
so
you see
cool.
here is a piston bolt here in the network in the nether, and then of course in the overworld it's 10,000 times 8 away, so even more.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's pretty serious. This is awesome. This is so cool. And are you using piston bolts to get almost everywhere, or is there any kind of regular Minecraft?
Not really. We have a pearl cannon as well, but other than that we are mostly using piston bolts.
Some ice tunnels, boats on ice.
We have like some ice tunnels, but they're like rare and not too often used destinations.
So when-
there's gonna be new tech.
when you guys run down an ice tunnel, right? Do you just are disgusted at
I
it?
would
You're
just use
like,
boats.
"Oh,
Yes.
We use boats and we discussed.
We wash our hands afterwards.
yeah, that's amazing.
Alright, so let's all head over. I guess some of us will need to run or fly.
Yeah,
just
fly.
I have a
some
box
time.
of minecarts in case someone needs some. So I can...
Okay, so how does
Yeah, I
one use
think-
one of these things?
Yeah,
So you
that-
just
Hop
hop
into
on
the
button,
minecart
press
and press
the
the
button?
button.
and push
the
button.
Then don't press anything. Does it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, this
And
is good fun.
Anyone has a match
20
here?
meters a second straight and 28 diagonally.
Yeah, we just
yeah, so
fly
this one is
through, I
actually
guess.
one of our shortest piston bolts, so
That's so much
that's
fun.
why I'm just running over now.
There's a map.
Yeah, and later I guess you can see also how they work better because they have no carpet over them. Basically just
Right,
curved
okay.
rails and pistons snapping the minecart onto the next rail.
That's so cool. I mean, we need to. I mean, this sort of thing I would love to build on the Hermitcraft server because getting around just it
I think
seems
Doc
like it would
M
be good.
built one this season.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's actually not that hard. We also have developed a lot of tech to do it automatically. So there's tunnel bores, there's rail curvers, and then you just have to place the pistons yourself and the repeaters. Really
That's-
not that big of a deal once you have the materials.
That sounds like it would make life a lot easier because I was
Oh, yeah.
wondering about those kind of curvy rails. That seems like it would be frustrating to
They are
place in.
not fun to do manually.
Yeah.
Take ages.
All right,
And
so let's finally look at the first witch farms because we had to rebuild things a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, things changed. Some people who might remember the old server tours knew there was multiple versions of rooms around the portal here, but this is actually still our quad witch perimeter. Just that things got changed quite a bit. So
Whoa. This is making my eyes go a bit funny in terms of like, it's difficult to know, it's difficult to judge scale right now.
Yep.
Because everything's so massive.
Oh yeah,
That's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be-
turn the mob switch off.
This is
No, invalid session, rip.
so
Okay.
classic.
Give me 1 second, I'm gonna need to go to the overworld with my other account.
This is amazing.
All right.
I mean,
Am
if
I
you want to
so
take a
around?
sense of scale, you can always fly out a little bit.
Yeah.
You do put your armor on. Lucky that there's slime at the bottom.
I was about to say.
I didn't plan that. Totally not.
That's amazing.
See, we come prepared.
Just so
I'm
you
very
placed
happy
all
that
slime.
you slimed the entire area just for me. Just in
It's
case.
actually not for you.
I know. That's
It's
still
just
super
lag
cool.
proving. So
Okay, I
let's
think
take
mob
a-
switch should be off. I'm waiting 5 more seconds and then log out and then we can start the farms.
Okay, I'm gonna try to fly into one of the farms just to see. So the brown glass has some openings on one side each time.
Okay. See how good
So
I
yeah,
am?
this is actually still a shifting floor design here
Yep.
we're using by now. So they do still work, but mobs tend to get moved around. So you have to prevent the witches from also moving along with the blocks just by having these trapdoors in.
Yep.
And that
Yeah,
way you
yeah,
can
yeah.
actually still use fairly simple shifting floors. And also there's, at least in 1.12, we don't need... So, just for those who are not aware, we're still playing in 1.12 because 1.13 breaks a lot of things.
Yep.
It makes things quite boring.
Yep.
So on 1.12 there's actually no collision check in the spawning, which means it doesn't matter if you get rid of the witches super quickly, as long as you stay below mob cap.
Yeah.
But staying below mob cap, even before witch farms, is pretty easy. And even if you have more witch farms loaded, then, well, you have additional players there and they increase the mob cap. So
Of course.
we never really run into mob cap issues. And yeah, we can easily use these shifting floors, which are just on a clock, so there's no detection required or such.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm
Makes them
actually,
quite simple.
This is one of the witch farms. I mean, for my baby little witch farm that I'm building on the Hermitcraft server, I'm using this exact design, if I remember correctly, if I'm just looking at it. But yeah, or at least very, very similar to it. So yeah, I'm familiar with that one. But obviously, I've only done one, whereas you guys have got 4 in an enormous.
And a few more. Be prepared.
Well, we got 4 of them here. So yeah, this is our old quad witch perimeter, which was originally a reason to choose the seat. So maybe we should also head down. Maybe someone in the meantime can turn on the farms.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I mean,
So we
how
can
many
see them.
blocks is this perimeter roughly? I just out of interest.
About 5
That one was
million
very
blocks.
5 million.
Yeah, this was
Okay.
actually a hand dug 4 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
No. You
Completely
5 million
pickaxes.
blocks by hand.
I mean, that's actually not that much in terms of perimeter volume.
Yeah.
And it was actually a little bit deeper before. Now it's covered with stone back again.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yes,
go
we
in detail
refilled
about
it.
it later. I guess.
Anyways, can someone turn on the farm?
Sorry,
Maybe
Nintendo.
everyone farm to see it in action.
Is that a vertical redstone here? Then we can just.
Yeah, it's on.
Yes,
It's
it's
on.
turned on.
Okay.
There's a daylight sensor at the bottom, and it detects that the block get pushed above. There's also a second
okay.
daylight sensor. This works at day and night. Yeah, it's a pretty cool system.
That's smart, actually. That's a smart way to do it.
Looks like the light is still on.
That's
Yeah, some of the light is still on for some reason.
I should probably go to spectator if I'm at one of the farms.
Yeah, if
If you want to take a look at the farm in action once it's starting up, feel free to go to spectator using
farm's not
/C.
working?
/C.
It's not running yet, so
Seems like it
we'll
didn't
figure
work.
that out.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we'll figure that out and get back once it's working.
Okay, so what the hell is wrong?
So is it broken?
Seems
I
like
don't think so. I don't think it should.
It looks like there's only one daylight. No, there's actually 2 daylight sensors. Ah, but both of them are in night mode.
yeah, that's
should they
supposed
be?
to be.
Okay.
Oh, there's a second cobblestone. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that should be it. Also, the farms.
Because we can also turn it on manually.
Yep.
This was like a last-minute addition yesterday.
That's always the way. It's the last
Yeah.
minute addition that.
I think
that
removing
ruined
that
it.
cobblestone block actually fixed it.
Oh yeah, no, I just got a lag spike, so that felt like something just kicked in.
Yep,
Lights off.
Lights off and shifting floors are on.
Yep, so there was just one cobblestone block that broke it.
Yep, it's working.
Okay.
Okay, get back.
Alright,
Oh my word.
so
Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of witches. I'm in spectator mode now, and I'm seeing a lot of witches drop out the bottom already. And so there's 4 of these. I mean, how many items an hour are you getting from these things?
One is about 6,200 at max, and these are about 6,100
Wow. Okay.
items.
That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of items.
Not
And where do you
really.
store
It's
this stuff?
one of the
And
slowest
that's one
farms,
control.
actually. That's the reason why we built more of them.
So wait, so this is one of the slowest farms, you say?
Yes,
Compared
which
to
farms
other
are super slow because there are so few spawning spaces. I mean,
Right.
yeah, it's only those 4 huts here, and quad pyramid is pretty rare. We even choose the seed, as we said.
Yep.
So yeah, the farms were way too slow for our redstone needs, and that's why we built all the stuff we show today on the server tour.
Yeah, and also one of these produces only about 775 redstone an hour, which is
Right.
so not enough for.
So you need more than that. So you're actually using more than 775 redstone an hour on the. This is like the miles per when you're buying a car. It's like the
Easily.
miles per gallon. You're talking redstone per hour on the SciCraft server. And this is just, it wasn't
Maybe
providing
to
enough.
put it into perspective, we had some form of quad witch farms for 4 years now, and we ran them for easily over 500 hours. But currently we are out of redstone dust.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we need like probably 500,000 redstone just like to craft things in the near future.
What? I can't even fathom these numbers. These numbers are totally ridiculous to me. I mean,
For reference, a project that hadn't shown in the server tour yet, which probably will finish quite soon. We needed 1 million.
so you needed 1 million. That is.
Well, that's a lower number. Like it was at least 1 million. It's probably like 1.2 or whatever, but no one cares.
Yeah, but you know that extra 200,000 that doesn't matter too much. We can round down.
That's just change.
Yeah, just short pocket change there. That's ridiculous. I can't even imagine working on a project that big. And how many people work on these projects at once? Is it like a community effort, or is it kind of one person does one thing, one person does another thing, or is it?
Depends if somebody no lives it.
Mostly.
We with the stuff we will show next, we can talk more about that because that's a good talking there.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Alright, so yeah, I've tried to give everyone a bit of a view on the witch farms working. I guess we want to move on because, as some people already indicated, we got a few more. So
Should we not explain
Let's
what is
head
actually
there,
going on at the bottom of the witch farms, maybe, Rago?
Let's do that on this another
let's
two
do that later.
Alright.
double
We'll
hut.
come to that in a bit.
Let's go back to
Yeah,
the
can
nether.
somebody
Yeah,
turn
we
it
keep-
off and stay a little
Oh
bit?
yeah. Do they break if you unload them, or are they
In
okay?
general, pretty much everything in Minecraft breaks if you keep it running. There's
Yeah,
a
and
few
unload
bugs
it.
that break pistons if they get unloaded in the wrong moment. So always turn off
Yeah.
the farms if you leave the area.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
But
better
today we
Yeah,
are on a
panicking your
backup,
voice a
so
little
it
bit when
doesn't
everyone just
matter.
jumped into the nether portal. It's like, no! And how do you go about troubleshooting that sort of thing, or does it... Oh no, I've crashed into someone.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, there we go.
if you troubleshoot something like that, it's generally a pain.
Yeah,
But I mean, you just like try to go through the contraption like from the input to the like desired output and see where the fault is. Like there's
Right, okay.
really no better way of going about it.
yeah, absolutely. No, that makes sense.
Should we
And
now
there's a
go
bunch
to
of
the
tools
red
that we tend to
maybe?
use, which are just modded in to the game,
Yeah,
just to essentially figure out what the heck is going on.
yeah. Well, that makes sense as well. I mean, yeah, with the size and scale of the projects that you guys are working on, having those sorts of handy tools around definitely makes sense.
Okay, next witch hut would probably be the
Maybe
one
let's go
behind
to the map.
jungle.
Maybe let's go to
The map
and
again?
just
Okay.
continue here.
Okay.
So yeah. So as
So,
you
yeah,
said, we're
we
out
were
of
just
redstone
here.
dust. So one
Yeah, yeah.
quad witcher just doesn't cut it. We're constantly running low, and then had issues getting enough redstone dust. That's why we decided to add more witch huts. And obviously we only have one witch hut on this seed or map. The next best thing would be a triple witch hut, which the nearest one was over 1 million blocks away, so it wasn't feasible to go there. And that's why we decided to use the double witch huts, which you usually find around every 10,000 blocks in the normal world. And we added a lot of double witch huts additionally to the quad witch hut. And if you
Right.
here on the map, you can see it. The witch huts icons always indicate one double witch hut, and in total we have 20 now. You can also, next thing, you can travel to each of those locations. Check it out.
That's so
Yeah, so that's
ridiculous. You have
more than
20 double
40
witch
witch
huts.
No,
20.
8 double
Yeah, well,
witch huts.
Yeah.
20 witch huts in
Oh.
total.
10 on the map.
Oh, okay.
Well, so 20 witch huts, but yeah, 10. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. But still, that's still ridiculous. So once again, would you be disgusted at the thought of building a single witch hut at this point in time? Like that doesn't seem like fun at all.
It makes sense for a single player world. I mean, why not?
Right.
Not
Oh,
really
is
to
it
scale
not
for
running?
our map.
It's just a bit too slow for us.
Yeah.
And it's too laggy to have multiple single witch huts or a lot of single witch huts. So we just picked the double witch hut so we can have more witch farms in the capacity the server has.
That makes sense. So lag protection and things like that is a big priority for you guys, because I'm assuming, you know, with this many farms and this much ridiculous stuff, you can't really be having lots of things loaded at once or anything like that.
I mean, there is no
Otherwise that
point
hurts
of
your
having
server.
20 witch farms if you can't really load them and run them at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Mumbo, can you follow me behind the portal?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, there's another piston bolt. This is a bit longer. So
Just
you-
hop in here.
Right, okay. And this will take me to the witch farm, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just realised I asked that after I jumped into it. Which
Take a while.
This is cool.
Don't
though.
worry,
So
your
you-
sacrifice will be appreciated.
Yeah, it just takes me into a death pit. 1 million blocks into a death pit.
I mean,
So,
this takes a
all
long
of this glass and everything and the terracotta all just gradually placed in by hand.
By hand.
Yeah, everything.
Lots of
In
hours
survival.
wasted.
It's not wasted. I wouldn't say wasted, but no, it does seem like it would take a very long time. I also like the fact that you've got the glass even when you're just going through netherrack. That's quite a nice touch. It's very cool.
Yeah, we generally build these like the same size and same shape tunnels everywhere where we build piston bolts.
Right.
Just the decoration is different all the time.
Yeah, and also like same theme design, like same block pattern.
Man, these things
Yeah,
are
it's
cool,
not
though.
exactly the same always.
Yeah, exactly.
We tend to mix them up a bit.
Also, somebody cheaped out on this one and didn't place all the glazed terracotta in the same orientation.
Ah, don't say it.
Well, you can't tell. When you're travelling this fast, you really can't tell. Oh, there we go. Well, one thing that I am wondering is, so all of this terracotta here, I'm assuming there's no way to farm terracotta, is there? You just have to get it by hand and smelt it.
No,
There
there
is
is.
a
You don't
way.
have to get it by hand necessarily, but you have to
Not by
smelt
hand.
Right. So how do you not get it by hand?
it, build a quarry.
Build a quarry. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're gonna also gonna visit it later.
That's probably one of the craziest projects we did so far, though.
I think we're on the way there.
Honestly, like, my mind is totally like. Whenever I say these things, I half expect. This is why I ask. Yeah, on any other server, I wouldn't ask if you did it by hand. But that's why I keep mentioning, do you do it by hand? And then I half expect people to say, no, of course we don't do it by hand. Why would we do it by hand when we can do this?
Yeah.
And that's what I like about this place.
I mean, we generally try to automate as much, but for example, this piston bolt building doesn't really make sense to automate because it's like you run out of blocks in your hand and offhand, which means that you can't place blocks forever if you're just riding a flying machine or something.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
makes
That's
more
right.
sense to use it by
Since
hand.
we arrived at the next witch farm, I would suggest we go right through and take a look at that one.
I love the sign that you guys have created as well. That's very, very cool.
That's Jamin.
How did they do that? Is that just you kind of take an image that you've created in Photoshop or something, then use a program and then just place it block by block? Or
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
That's
Into
very
our
smart.
creative world, and then we build it in circle.
Oh, and someone just got the Nether achievement.
That's
was it
Mumbo.
me? I don't
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nice.
fly to the middle.
Yeah, you just made a small journey. Maybe you want to show your F3 screen where we are at.
Right, let's have a look. So we are at. Oh wow! So we're 20,000. Oh, 23,000 by 19,000.
Yep.
So we're quite a ways out.
Yep.
Whereabouts were we just then? How many thousands of blocks have we just travelled there then?
Well, we were pretty much at a couple hundred before.
Yep. Okay. So
The hub is pretty much
Basically 0-0.
yeah,
basically.
that's ridiculous. So that was lightning speed then. And when
Yeah,
it comes to loading these things, do you just kind of strategically AFK, or is there?
Yeah, basically we
anything-
just put bot accounts here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
bot accounts is basically just a server-side account, so we don't have to keep our computers running, waste energy, just to keep this running.
Yeah, that makes
Yep.
sense.
Saving the environment
Yep.
one bot at a time.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Yeah,
can
so
see
this is, of course, a double perimeter only.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before. Well, the portal is in one of the farms. And you might actually notice there's quite a big tower built around each of these farms,
Yep.
which seems a bit unnecessary. And if we also fly somewhere to the side of this huge pad here that everything's built on.
You can't jump on that one.
Okay, yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, you can also show the edges of the perimeter to show how low down we are.
Yeah, so of course we bombed everything here with World Eaters
Down to bedrock.
Yep.
basically to bedrock. Exactly. And then actually refilled it again using a large cobble generator with flying machines to push everything in order to fill essentially the first sub-chunk.
Right.
So a
I
sub-chunk,
see.
for those who are not aware, is basically up to Y15 or 16. And, well, the reason why we do this is that in 1.12 the spawn algorithm basically works per sub-chunk, so it always picks up the highest sub-chunk that has a non-fully transparent block in it. So
Right.
carpet is fully transparent, that doesn't matter.
And even if it's a void,
picks
it'll
something
always
there.
choose the first sub-chunk. Like in the end, it always spawns in the first
Exactly.
sub-chunk.
Right,
So you
I
can't
see.
get around the first sub-chunk, but anything above. And then it picks a random location, tries to do its spawning magic, and in this magic it uses a lot of random calls, which are very heavy on the CPU. So your server gets really slow if you have many perimeters loaded, just from the spawning. And of
Right,
course,
okay.
we never are at mob cap, so the spawning algorithm keeps kicking in all the time.
Yep.
It's not even the random chunks. It's random calls. It's basically the game actually spawns a mob and then basically realizes, oh, I can't really place him here, and then it goes next. So it actually the actual spawning algorithm spawns a lot of mobs unnecessarily and just just deletes them right away.
Yeah. You occasionally see that happen, don't you, when you're like 128 blocks away from something, and then you'll see a mob flash up. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's not exactly the same because that one actually gets fully spawned and then just despawns in the next tick.
Right.
But
I
this
see.
one is actually spawned and despawned in the same moment, but it still costs a lot of
Yeah.
CPU time.
That makes sense.
And so
No,
the
it
advantage
fixed
is
in 14,
if
yeah?
the spawn algorithm hits a solid block, like a full cube, like a cobblestone, not a
Yep.
cobblestone stair or slab or anything, but really a full
Any
cobblestone
solid
block.
block.
Yeah, any solid block, then it basically stops the algorithm at that point and keeps its mouth shut for the rest of the tick. So
And it
that way we
basically
basically
checks-
save on a lot of iterations.
And it basically checks for that block at the very beginning for each chunk before it actually looks for anything else, like what it can spawn and where. And so it actually checks for that block first. So if it lands in the middle of the stone area or like basically solid areas, it will just
Yep.
never go. And it's actually it's actually 1 to 200 roughly ratio. So it's a ridiculous difference.
I mean,
Okay.
generating the stone here, I think, improved the lag situation per witch hut by something like a factor of 7. So,
Wow.
which is quite nice.
Yeah. So these big stone pillars around here are literally just there to stop lag on the server, and they
Exactly. Around the
Okay.
witch huts, you want the roof, of course, so it's dark inside.
Yep.
And then on those blocks, the subchunk is, of course, raised above the first one.
Yep.
So you have to fill all the blocks below the, I think, fifth subchunk, is it?
Yep.
I think it is,
As well, completely with stone, because those are raised higher than the others that are only one subchunk.
And that's also why the roof goes higher than it would actually need to be, because we have to get it to the edge of the sub-chunk, basically,
Yep.
and then cap it off there.
Okay. That makes
Now, that
sense.
would still leave us with a few spawns, and there's actually one magic block that helps us even more. And that's what actually saved you in the last perimeter.
Yeah.
And that is that a slime block is considered a solid block, so it stops the spawning algorithm early on,
Yeah.
but it's still fully transparent, which means if you place a slime block at the very last block in a subchunk, the spawning limit in terms of subchunks does not get raised,
Yep.
but everything that would where the game would randomly select this topmost block in the first place would also get killed.
Right.
So
Okay.
we cancel this fairly early on. If you would put cobblestone there, the next subchunk would get activated.
Right. I see. And that
It
would
lose out again.
A nice effect to showcase this is in a future witch hut perimeter where we don't have the carpet. You won't actually ever see any mobs spawn on the slime.
And also, just to give you an idea of how lag-friendly these perimeters are, one of these witch huts takes about 1/50th of the server's capacity to run. So
That's very
we could
impressive.
actually build much more of these than we actually have at the moment and still keep the server from lagging.
That's incredible.
I would like to mention two things about this perimeter as well. First of all, this one is bigger than the last one.
I did notice.
Might-
Yeah.
You might have noticed.
This one is about 16 million blocks in volume.
16 million.
Yep.
And I mean that is this is a ridiculous.
It's basically
Run
a
by hand.
full render distance. As far as the server renders chunks, we removed everything. 528
Yeah,
with
so
528 blocks.
Yeah, down
And-
to bedrock.
And so was this automated by flying machines or was this
Yep.
by hand as well?
By flying machines. of
Okay.
course.
We
Thanks.
use
Similar to-
TNT duping, TNT duping machines that you also used on your episode, I think.
Yep.
Flying
yeah.
over, bombing stuff down, and then we also have sweepers at the bottom that get rid of the liquids that pop up, so the TNT can destroy the blocks below liquids as well. And that way, it's mostly automated. There are, of course, some obsidian blocks here and there that we have to remove by hand, but everything else, the machine does everything else.
And how long did that take? So in terms of just sheer machines moving
We
time.
actually got
So you
fairly
wait,
fairly efficient
Well,
at doing this. In the
This
beginning,
one took.
just anyway, let me talk. In the beginning,
Sorry.
in the beginning, we made the perimeter in 36 hours to remove everything. But yeah, we got better over time, and now we got the time down to 8 hours to make one of those complete perimeters.
8 hours. That's
8
not even
hours, yeah.
bad.
But we had a group
I'm-
of 10 to 15 people working on it. But in 8 hours, we got from normal terrain to everything bombed out.
And
Yep.
so are you just getting much better at building the flying machines? Is that it, or is
Yeah,
there-
and we are also
Better design.
improving the flying machines.
yeah?
So
Okay.
the first time we did this, we used a really slow world eater, that
Yep.
World Eater took almost, I think, 12 hours or something to finish. Because
Right.
it was really slow, really laggy,
Yeah.
and we didn't optimize it at all. But then,
Okay.
over time, we just built better and better versions, iterative improvement, and at the moment, I think the World Eater takes something like 6 hours, a bit more, to finish.
That's amazing.
I think our current record for doing everything, so bombing out the whole area, building the whole stone generation, all the witch farms, doing literally everything you see right now here was 11 and a half hours? No, 14.
14.
14 hours. That is so bonkers that you guys can manage to do that within 14 hours. I mean, that's crazy. Because, I mean, I hate to keep bringing up because it almost seems sad to bring up my little witch hut that I'm building on the Hermitcraft server when I'm standing here, because it doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as this. But like me and Grian were totting up the amount of time that I'd spent so far on the witch hut, and it came to like 36 hours or something ridiculous like that. And that's for a single witch hut with a much smaller perimeter of only 1.2 million blocks. So you've done 16 times the amount of space, and also completely flattened it, and also built the entire witch hut, and also surrounded them in stone, and covered the entire area in carpet, and you've managed to do that in 14 hours, and that's so impressive.
Yeah, also...
Actually
there's
more.
it's actually a bit more.
Yep.
But there's...
I was expecting that.
I would suggest we come
Can
to
I-
that
can-
part after we've gone over the other
Yeah.
farms. So
Well, I wanted to point out the second thing special about this perimeter. This is the only one where we have glowstone on the floor, right?
Yeah.
So, in the beginning, because this is the first one we made, we weren't sure if we wanted the water. So, overnight, we just placed all the glowstone in here, and it's like also under the stone because we did the stone at the time.
Yep.
And later on, we decided, well, a bunch of work, we're just gonna flood it in the future. So it was all, well, for nothing, I guess.
Also, this is the only perimeter that has carpet, as we already said, and that's because we wanted to make it look cool. Of course, we thought maybe we do a pixel out of each witch drop in each perimeter.
Yep.
But then we placed all the carpet, and the carpets actually get random ticked, like for example crops or grass that it turns into dirt and so on. For whatever reason, carpets get random ticked.
Yep.
And that actually decreased the performance by just a tiny bit. And since we are so perfectionists, then we decided to just leave the carpets out and save that work and do it. Just leave the slime blocks in the other perimeters.
Yeah.
Currently, the server's running on 7 MSPT, so now it's 5, a tenth of the server performance.
That's not bad at all, is it?
And we are so many people here on the server currently, all jumping around.
I mean, yeah.
Each person takes quite a lot of performance, actually.
Yeah. No, I bet. Man, this is ridiculous. This is totally ridiculous. I don't know what to say about this. I've never seen... It's so difficult to judge scale in this sort of thing, and I've never really seen this sort of thing done in anything other than creative mode testing worlds, and even then, I haven't really seen anyone do it to this scale in a creative world. So see this done in survival mode is just totally bonkers.
There's something to be said about this builds on these epic scales in survival. You know, we don't. It's fun, but it's also partly out of necessity. We've got people here who are we're all adults.
Yep.
Day jobs. Some of us have kids. We don't actually have the time to do this kind of stuff manually.
Yep.
So we have to invent solutions for doing it automatically.
I mean, I always say your own time is the most precious resource in Minecraft. Because you can achieve almost everything. It's really just a question of how much time can you sink into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is it's so difficult to get a reference across of just how crazy this is, and the only way that you could know how mad this is obviously by doing it yourself. But there's only a select few people that would do this sort of thing, and they're all still on that glass platform right there.
Okay, suggest we go to the next one?
I guess, we finally take tour through all the other ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Portless on
probably
one of the sides.
a bit quicker, because otherwise the video is gonna be like 7 hours long.
That's very true. Sorry, I talk a lot.
That's what I was trying to cut some people short.
It's no problem, it's just...
Now we can also talk at the other locations a bit, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
I was actually considering the other locations to just make a bit of a time lapse out
if
of
anyone
it.
needs rockets, here is a rocket box to fly through.
Yeah, I might want to just move and talk.
So basically, if I can say, basically one of the diagnostic tools we have on the server is you can type log TPS.
Yep.
And it will basically, in the tab screen, will tell you exactly how many milliseconds per tick each basically tick takes.
Right. Okay.
So basically you can monitor on the fly basically how is the server performing.
Right.
And plus there's also a tick health command that will essentially basically monitor all the entities and blocks and all this other stuff that happens on the server in each dimension separately, and it will basically display to you breakdown on what takes and where and how much time.
Right, I see.
So I was the basically vanilla in 1.13 has a similar thing to the same kind of usefulness. So I remember Exuma was asking me about help, but with the code and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it's roughly the same tool, although it's a little bit like more painful to use because you cannot really do it on the fly when you are running a server just from the clients. With this one, you can just do I think it's tick health.
Yep.
If you type tick health, it will essentially tell you what runs and where and how much time is taking. And from that, we learned a lot of stuff like how to optimize those things. So you only, like with the witch farms, you're only really, the only thing that really takes time is to actually spawn the witch and basically drop it down.
Right, yeah.
And the rest is removed. So all the spawning, extra stuff that happens around is all removed.
Yep.
Because it's not really useful.
I mean, maybe we should explain the MSPT a bit more. So you have the TPS and the MSPT.
Yeah. So
TPS you probably know, the 20 ticks per second.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, game runs on ticks per second, and there's 20 of them, which means that one tick should take no more than 50 milliseconds. If it's taking more than 50 milliseconds, it means that the game is lagging.
Right.
If it takes below 50 milliseconds, it tells you that you have some extra, basically you have some extra capacity. So if we can run a witch farm with 1 millisecond per tick, it means that we can run 50 of them at the same time.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and each of those double witch shots takes about 1.2 milliseconds a tick.
Yeah, so we could run 32 of them maybe if we wanted.
That's crazy.
By the way, the whole tick health thing, Knembon made that.
Well, this is what I was wondering. So, I mean, all of these tools, I'm guessing, were developed to a certain extent bespoke to your very unique set of problems.
Yeah, so essentially, at some point I thought, okay, like if there is something I'm missing from the game, I can just do it. I can just add it.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's still vanilla in the sense that we are not adding mechanics. We are not adding the new stuff that makes so that you can't really do it like if you are running a basically vanilla server that is basically ships with Mojang.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing, except you get more insights of what's actually happening.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, when you're doing this sort of stuff, that sort of thing is invaluable because then you can work out when you activate something like a farm or something, just how much damage you're kind of doing to the server by running it. And it gives you, a true insight as opposed to kind of playing it by ear. So no, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, lag is getting better now. Okay.
For some reason, server was lagging a bit.
We're gonna go down the stairs, staircase.
I mean, if you have 20 people basically running a piston bolt in different areas, then you're loading a lot of chunks at once, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about that.
Is anyone here in the Nether Hub?
But the thing is, 1.12 is about 60% faster than 1.13 with all the changes they added with Update Aquatic. So if you basically if you take any contraption in 1.13, it will run about 60% slower. And on top of that, what's actually really funny, and I think they got a client side a tile entity duplication bug.
Yep.
In basically in like the entire 1.13. So the thing is like, and I got this question from for example from Impulse, because he was saying that he can't run the tree farm for more than an hour, and then the TPS, so the FPS goes to 0.
Yep.
And I tested it out, and it actually was just a bug. so you can't really run any contraption for more than half an hour in 1.13. Period.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so strange.
And the same happens with the sorting system for Azuma. So you can run it, and it's only client side. On the server, it's a no problem. It only you just need to relog and log back again, and you'll be fine for another half an hour.
So that's
Next
why...
piston bolt. Where is the next piston bolt?
Mumbo, would you follow me?
Purple one.
Right behind you.
Yep.
Just
Guys,
walk down.
I know you guys want to tell a lot. Let's just keep it concise. We can talk about a lot in the full server tour, okay?
Yeah. Just give me...
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, just trying to keep it somewhat compact so we don't have to edit like 5 hours of video, which is a pain.
Yeah, Mumbo, you can just always follow me. I'll lead you in the right direction, okay?
We need that in carpet mod elite to put on players. Drag him around.
Okay, so below this, like behind this thing, there's a purple bolt, and don't flick the lever. Just get in the minecart.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Everyone can already ride it.
Oh yeah, only get in the minecart, don't click anything. Takes it there.
Okay, so...
So we should
just
be
like
entering the
just
gold
going.
part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just hop in the
Just
minecart.
want to make sure I didn't get the wrong turn.
Yeah, make sure not to exit the minecart.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a string detection system that launches you.
Yep, those things are super cool.
And this is a bit of a longer piston bolt, but still not quite like ridiculously long.
How long, out of interest, so how long would you consider to be ridiculously long?
10 kilometers.
Like
10 kilometers.
Yeah.
What? 10 kilometers?
No, I mean I'd say 5 kilometers is on the edge of like ridiculously long.
10 kilometers is nothing. It's like 15.
We have a
16
piston
game
bolt
picks.
that takes what, 7 minutes to ride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not one, it's 4 bolts after another. Stations
no,
in between.
You know, I know one stint of it is 5 minutes in and of itself. So
Yeah,
this
7
piston
minutes.
bolt is
away.
scary to fly through, because if you activate one of the golden pressure plates, the others will crash.
Ah, yeah.
That's why you
So-
don't fly through these things.
So building-wise, I mean, how many... This has got to be tons and tons of resources. I'm starting to understand why 770 redstone an hour just isn't enough for you guys, if you're building stuff like this.
I mean, every block you travel here is 1 redstone dust for the piston,
Yep.
1 redstone dust for the repeater. No, 2.
Yep.
3.
3 even. So
Yep.
that's like
3
every
or
block is 4 redstone dust.
And
Yeah,
diagonal 6.
Actually, on diagonal it's even more because you have 1 repeater and 1 dust for every block travel diagonal.
And they need
Yeah.
more redstone dust to build more pistons to build more to build more witch farms.
Yeah.
To build more piston bolts. To
The
build
infinite
bolts.
redstone chain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere
exactly.
you have to put all your resources. Put them into piston bolts.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
We
then
have,
to build
I
a
think
witch farm.
we have over like, I think we have over like 100,000 redstone dust in piston bolts.
That's
Like-
amazing.
I mean, we have
Actually,
like
way over
40
100K.
kilometers, right?
Yeah, we have like 50 kilometers of piston bolts.
Yeah, so if it's 4 redstone per block, then that's, about 200,000 redstone per... Well, in piston bolts alone.
Yeah, actually it's a bit more because that would be only if they're straight ones. If they're diagonal ones, it takes a bunch more.
Wow. Okay, so I see what you mean. This is all slime. So what sort of slime farms are you using on the server to get this
Well,
much slime?
We have a good
I
one
think we got
fast.
pretty much a fast one.
Yeah.
It's about, I think the rates of that slime farm about 300k an hour
What?
of slime balls.
330.
Yeah, 330.
330,000?
Yeah, and it's actually not even that much. It could be made a lot better.
It's still
Wow.
the fastest slime farm ever
Yep.
built on any server.
It is, but it could be made better.
Right, this is going to be interesting. We're going to start nudging each other off the top of this thing, I think.
I suggest for all the next witch farms, because they're pretty much all the same design, we really just give everyone a bit of
just
time to
keep going.
record something for whatever montage they want to make,
Yep.
and then continue.
This
So,
one's very pretty. This
Should we
one's
go
cool.
to all of them and then at the last one explain how they work?
we already somewhat explained, but at the end
the
I want to
bottom
talk
part
about
of it.
the
Yeah.
item collection, exactly. So that's sort of the thing I currently envision.
Then
that's the real impressive part about all
Basically
this.
like
I was
a
actually
time
gonna
lapse
ask
going
about
through the
how
different
you-
ones, and then
How you collect all the items for these?
Oh, you're in for a treat in that.
yeah,
one.
we'll talk about that in the end because it transitions into the storage and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
So.
Should we return next the purple boat? Right up
yeah,
there?
let's go
or-
back to the nether hub and then take the same bolt
Actually-
again, but flick the lever.
Give me a little bit of time to
Fly around, get some.
to quickly
nice
also get some
photos.
shots in creative.
Okay.
Also
gonna
for
travel
you,
back to the-
Mumbo, if you want to cut it, just fly around.
Yeah, you can always
Yeah,
go in
spectator.
/ spectator mode or whatever, as much as you
Yeah,
like.
absolutely. It's alright. I'll chop in bits and bobs here and there.
Yep.
And yeah, it will come together real nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'll spectate someone here, so that less laggy.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
A reminder about the purple bolt. Only the first person who rides the bolt needs to make sure the switch is flipped. Because if you flip it
Oh, yeah.
for yourself, you'll wind up back at the
Yeah.
old
If everybody flips it, that's gonna be funny.
50%
We'd all
will
be
make
in
their way to the right
place.
farm.
So there's what, 8 witch farms? No, we got 12 more.
Yep.
What's better than 8 witch farms? 10 witch farms.
What's better than 10? Which
Well, we
farm?
still have what? Two more pairs to make? Something like that?
No, we have
Or
a
just
cluster of
one.
3 that we were thinking about exploring, but we don't have connection yet.
Oh,
And also, there's one missing from
right.
the stone brick bolt. One is missing.
Yeah, we have 2 more destinations for double witch huts, and then a potential triple double witch hut. So 3 double witch huts quite close to each other, but
That's
they
very
are
cool.
quite far away. So we haven't really considered, or we have considered, but we haven't really started to connect them.
Yeah. And also, by the way, we live stream basically all of the perimeters that we do. Like
Yeah,
the double.
I have seen that. Yeah.
So that, like, if you want to see the 8 hours madness, you can.
I mean, see, that's the thing. That
Shoot,
because
the
that's
piston
part
bolt
of the
back
reason-
seems to be bugged. I think Theo also got stuck because there's a minecart that got stuck.
Don't move
Just
in
go
the
and
piston
spec-
bolt.
No,
Mumbo,
there was
just,
an empty
just,
minecart
just
again.
hop in again. Just hop in the piston.
Okay, so this one and the
The lever is flicked to a different position, so it'll
Okay.
take you to a different destination.
I mean, how annoying is it when you're on that like 7-minute piston bolt and then you realise that you've forgotten something?
Quite annoying.
Yep.
Every time.
But that's
Actually,
why
that's
we
a point.
mostly grab our resources in inventories full of shulker boxes and not like, 2 stacks here, 2 stacks there, and so on.
Yeah.
We always count in like big numbers.
Yeah, so you always just have huge amounts of resources on you at all times.
Yeah,
And-
basically.
Yeah, if you're going for a project, of course, then yeah.
Yeah.
I once spent 20 minutes replacing 2 light grey glass because the first time around grey glass.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that also, like, gone back and forth to a really far away project. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So better just grab
Enemy.
everything you need and a bit.
That qualifies as a classic SciCraft issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, get out.
I mean, as well as
Oh man, Ragu, seriously?
also, like, dying is really annoying in some destinations. Not because you lose your stuff, but because it takes like 10 minutes to get back.
Yeah, I bet.
This
Yeah.
is one of the 5-minute long bolts, by the way, Mumbo. So you got
That-
time to take your hands off the keyboard.
That's fine, that's fine. Well,
Grab a
I'm
stack.
just wondering, so do you guys have bases or anything like that? Or
Nope.
is it kind of like a
I
community?
have a
Communism.
base.
Well, Nembor has
Yeah.
a small base, but like nobody really builds bases because what's the point of them ultimately? Like everything, we share everything either way. Nobody cares if you take like a shulker box of gear. So
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't a base. It was just a sorting system for a project. So
yeah,
Yeah. That's funny. That's a cool mentality to have just have one big communal server where everything is just built just
I mean, it's
all together by all the
basically
members.
just an
and that's something that
storage room,
works,
bunch of projects.
and that's actually works really well. I don't know if it would work like if there are many people doing basically doing YouTube at the same time, But but in terms of productivity, instead of making like 10 different times of the same type, farms of the same type, just build one bonkers one, and then another person does something else, or groups of people doing something else, and then you have one storage that has everything that you need.
That would be cool. I mean, the idea of having this is the thing, because I've always played as like kind of like I always build my base, I always have my own stuff. It kind of scares me a little bit, like everyone having access to everything. I don't know why. Kind of freaks me out. In the
It actually works surprisingly well. So the work is shared.
Until someone froze colored shulker boxes.
I don't think it would be possible though for something like Hermitcraft, where so many people have to YouTube the same stuff. That would be actually conflict. That's not going to be possible.
I mean, Kazuma was really, but Kazuma was really interested in this idea, anyways. But but it may not work 100%. Yeah, it's like you still have to have content for each individual person. Like that's
absolutely
semi-interesting, not just.
Yeah, it might. It's one of those. It might be a nice idea. It might be a really nice idea in terms of the actual Minecraft server functioning, but from a content creation point of view, everyone having the same stuff and everyone working on the projects all at once, it might become challenging, I guess.
Yeah, that would be
work. We saw it on the Hermitcraft communal area or the big digging area. Yeah, not a lot of people actually worked there, right? So some people did a bit of stuff and then the others, but all the people never really met up, as far as I know, and did something together, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that there's a whole bunch of different personalities on the Hermitcraft server. That's the thing. Whereas you guys are all focused on the same thing. If I came up to someone like Grian and said, "Hey, do you want to build like a massive perimeter and do 2 witch huts and then really focus on lag protecting and things like that?" He would be like, "No."
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, and it would be exactly the same if he said, "Hey, do you want to build up a massive mansion that is really, really pretty and spend hours and hours on the decoration?" It's like, no, that's not really my thing. So we have such a different kind of group that doing
plus,
big projects.
Yeah, but plus, if any of us says that, "Oh, I need to run this farm for 2 weeks because I need materials," everybody says, "Sure." So
right, yeah.
Everyone log off.
Are we all here now?
I think so.
Panic, it doesn't matter. We are just gonna spend some time for recording and not gonna do much. So
also
some nice music in the background.
Oh, take a look at the walls. Okay, I'll take a look at the walls real quick.
Yeah, they're blown up.
I always think this looks super cool. When the walls are blown up, I love the way they look.
Ah, we forgot the beacons here.
Oh,
Nah, it's okay. I kept them yesterday. I actually went around 5 hours yesterday night just to fix up and clean up stuff around the witch farms here because we left storages full of shulker boxes here. Yeah, no one cared about them.
Yeah. And how much purple? Because purple is that. There's no way to farm purple.
Oh, it is. There's got to be a nice one.
You actually build.
Why do I even ask?
You actually attempted to build that farm, don't you?
One of my favorite part of any farm on SciCraft, part of the purple farm, the course farm, like so.
I did not know this. Is it an obvious way to farm it, or is it like
no,
a really?
Not at all.
Okay.
112. Basically, if you zero tick an
don't spoil it. We will get to it.
Mumbo actually
we will get to
built
it.
a farm like that. You have built farm like that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I've got the I've got the chorus plant, crazy farm.
Yeah.
We also have that just from Bedrock to Sky Limit.
Yeah, I can imagine. Mine unfortunately on the Hermitcraft server, if anyone else is logged on, it doesn't work because of connection issues. So
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be client or lag specific.
Well, okay, fine. I might have just built it wrong. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's essentially what you were just saying. It's like, well,
don't go back. Don't go back to the purple bolt. We have another bolt behind it.
Okay. All right. We'll get out of here.
I suggest we move on to the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I start talking and then.
Yeah, it's
no problem.
No, that's the point where that's why you're here.
Good thing is we're just writing minecarts to random locations, so it's actually the perfect thing to do.
Yeah.
Also,
So on the
That's the
Hermitcraft
thing.
server we might struggle because once again, to bring up Grian, I mean the dude
but
just loves spamming buttons and mining things and.
The thing is,
we
if
have
you just go for a smaller one, it's really not that much work, though.
Yeah.
No, of
If,
course.
if it's not 5 kilometers of fixing you have to do, it's kind of.
I mean, right now with the ice and boats, it's kind of redundant, but it's kind of sad on one end. But
Yeah. Well, I love the piston bolts. I think they're great fun.
And another double. This one is green. Hey.
Another one.
So much diversity.
So at least you can see it's a different one. But it looks kind of similar.
I like the fact that they're color coded. This is the good thing because if they weren't, then we could literally just be going in and out of the same nether portal and another one and another one.
Well, obviously we just change the coating each time, you know.
Oh yeah, of course.
Slash
Also,
glow.
which farm placements are actually a bit different, but that's like minor.
No one
Yeah.
will notice.
We surely just have a flying machine that.
It's a huge block swapper, yeah.
We can actually pop them out of the slime platform anywhere, you know, they just grow.
Yeah.
Pop
That
up
would
witch
be
farm.
lovely.
Next project, pop up witch farm.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that
Next
would
one.
actually be the fun thing because that would actually be more impressive than pumps themselves.
This is awesome though.
That's a good idea, actually. Make a four-directional flying machine that just moves into place and bombs the whole thing, and then creates the witch shots, then moves to the next location. Program it at spawn.
A self-flying, self-build around witch hut. Builder.
Okay, there's another piston bolt and there's another witch hut. It's the one with the emerald blocks. You can also take that.
Just give me another minute or so.
Alright.
Or 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, a few people
sure, yeah,
already
someone
went out of the
created
portal.
for-
Not that they go back.
Yeah, I'll just keep moving.
Yeah,
just
I-
like don't go backwards until we say so, because otherwise we're gonna spend a really long time waiting.
When the SciCraft members could also just go back to the Nether Hub if they've seen it already.
Of course. But I mean, just for
If you're not
Mumbo.
recording.
Yeah, because like I mean, you can't really get out of the piston bolt without breaking it, which is quite a pain.
I think it would be better if you stay in a group to nicely.
Yeah, I'll say so as well. Just fly behind or trickle behind.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned the. I wanted to say this that you mentioned the resource thing in like doing community things. It's actually quite nice that like it's another reason why we have so many resources is that nobody really cares if somebody takes like a double chest of emerald blocks.
Yeah.
People just like go, okay, you need them for something, use them.
Yeah. No, that's cool, and it's kind of like the mentality that if someone can take those items from you, you can take those items from someone else, and it's kind of everyone helps everyone kind of thing.
In short, communism.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the
I was trying to
gulag.
avoid using that word. Just
The first
we
time
have a-
communism worked.
Yeah. But we have the 100,000 diamonds, so works.
Yeah.
How many diamonds do you have?
100,000.
Nah.
Bit
Just
more.
for the portal again, man.
All right.
Yeah,
so
here's
just
the
for
next
this
one.
Yep.
Those are just unused diamonds that are that amount. We've used more for other things.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, what do you need diamonds for if you're not shopping or anything like that? I mean, I guess they just kind of sit there.
Yeah.
Tend to lose
Juke
track of the
boxes.
gear.
Juke boxes.
Boxes and enchantment table.
Double
Yeah,
chest of
enchantment
enchantment
tables.
That we
tables.
don't use.
Enchantment tables are really
Fireworks.
useful because they have a very basically very nice hitbox.
And they're blast proof, which is nice.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Okay, so this is the pink one.
Yeah.
Pink double witch shot, yay!
Another
linked
green
that
slime
color?
platform.
I
You
mean,
guys remember Doc's Jumpy Castle on Hermitcraft 3 or what is it, even Mindcrack back then? When you had some slime blocks and then built a Jumpy Castle? We have 288 by 288 Jumpy Castle here.
yeah, we have a couple of them too.
Man.
Are we
Also-
going towards the Mesa, by the way?
No. What's also fun is that you can like actually dive down with an elytra to the slime floor, hit it without taking damage and bounce, so which is quite fun.
That is good fun. Yeah, I need this all the way under my base on Hermitcraft, so that I can never ever take damage.
It's also a pain in the butt to get out of this because you move really slowly on slide.
Yeah, that is very true. So this is all white concrete all the way around.
Oh yeah, the white concrete.
Oh,
was...
the pink concrete even.
Yeah, pink concrete.
Yeah. Nice.
And we have pink concrete at the bottom of the slab as well, because and that was of course manual placed because you can't like really automate that.
I mean, so just out of interest, because like you kind of lose sense of scale. I mean, how big is, how many pink concrete blocks are used in this process? Because it's got to be a lot.
Not too many, because it's only the outside of the shell, and
it's
everything
the same
inside is
number of lime blocks in the previous one.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Descriptive.
The block at the bottom is filled with cobblestone or with stone, and here around the witch farms we have sand or gravel, because we can drop that down from the top.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yesterday I built most of the borders around the stone blocks at the bottom. I always grab like 9-10 shulker boxes, so it's not too much.
Probably like 50, 60k in total.
I mean, that's quite a lot though. 50,000-60,000 is still like a...
Takes half an hour to make it.
You're making me feel bad. You're making me feel bad. I always feel like I'm doing okay on certain things. Then have I gone on the right piston bolt? I've gone on the black and white one.
Yes, that's good.
That's the one.
Okay.
That's the last one in this line.
Just don't go back.
That's some mango said, this last one.
Mumbo, but to excuse you, when you're making actual video that should be usable for somebody else to watch, you can spend a couple hours just to make like a 30 seconds clip. So
it's true.
And you can't really have time to build it.
Yeah.
But you have to realize when Nembon makes videos, it takes like half a year to a year for one video.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said many times that, I mean, you know, I'm such a mega fan of a lot of the things that a lot of the people on here do. And yeah, I always try and point out in my videos, whenever I reference anything that you guys do, how cool it is. And yeah, I mean, the super ridiculous farming videos that you make, Nembon, are just always, they're so awesomely well made, and they're super cool.
I basically realized that I don't have much time, so if I can put like a half-assed video, I might as well spend double, triple the time.
Yep.
And nobody would notice it because it's rare enough.
Oh, you do definitely notice. I would say it's definitely the highest quality content Minecraft-wise on YouTube.
Yeah,
like some of
ridiculous.
the videos are insane from the quality. Like the time lapses, you can tell there's no missteps. There's tons of editing went into this.
Like one of my favorite things that you do, I think it was in the sugarcane farm video, where you like talk, then in the background you'd comment over what you're doing in the game, right?
Yeah.
Then the game speeds up, but you keep talking normal, and then the game slows down again. You're still talking over your gameplay.
It typically takes me 2 weeks to edit one video.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Also, by the way, on that bolt, if you notice, the glass was actually also changing color. The glass was also like repeatedly changing color.
We have a spawnable space here. There's a creeper. What?
Where?
What happened here?
Hang on, let me point out where SciCraft has failed. Hang on, I got SciCraft's one mistake.
There's a shulker box here. I think the creeper spawned on the shulker box.
No. There we go. Everyone.
But there's a really small chance that this happens.
And as a defense, one creeper and one spawning space doesn't matter in a witch farm.
Okay.
At all.
All right. I'll take
because
the word
you have
for it.
only because like typical witch farms, they have 10 to 15 mobs at a time.
Yeah.
And then the mob cap is 70 per player.
Yeah.
So you can have a lot of spots that you miss, not a lot, couple, and still be 100% efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm only joking because everything's been so perfect so far. I need to point out at least one little mistake.
Oh, there are a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, there are.
Should we maybe show one of those bots? Just show what we're actually doing here?
Well, I read it.
Nah.
Shouldn't we do it at the very last one?
Oh yeah, let's do that the last one. Okay.
Yeah.
Do all the redstone and so on.
I like
this
how
is-
they're themed. This is cool. I like the fact that they're all different colours.
Yeah, this is nether wart block.
Right.
Which
yeah.
I might point out is like way too expensive for how it looks.
Yeah, nether wart block is actually ridiculously expensive.
Okay, now
Now
we
I'm gonna
have
ask
to
the
go
obvious
back
question.
all the piston bolts back to the nether hub, so all the 4 super long bolts
Everyone
back
should
in.
just spectate one person, otherwise we're gonna take.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually, just go
That's
to
a very good
spectator.
idea.
Okay, so what does one do? So should I?
You
mine
can
up
just
or-
jump in.
Just go to the cart
Okay.
and ride all the piston bolts back to the nether hub. Gonna take a while.
So is the server going to struggle with this because we're all on different piston bolts and we're all making a mess?
We're not on
That's fine.
different piston bolts actually.
So far, the server is basically on half of its capacity.
Well, that's not too bad. And I mean, what sort of server specs are you guys running? Are they ridiculous
It's
or?
not crazy, but it's good. Like I think it's i7 4790K and like 32 gigs of RAM, but we're running on at the moment actually we're running on Masa's server, which is better.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
think
but that's I
Masa's
think a 6700K or so.
7700K and
Or 70, yeah.
6 gigs.
yeah, and allocated 6 gigs of RAM for the server.
I think it's actually
Right.
4.
4.
Oh, 4.
Only 4 at the moment.
Yeah, but usually we allocate a bit more.
Yeah, but no showcase because lag. Minecraft is really weird with RAM. Like if you allocate 6 gigs, it actually performs worse than 4 gigs in most cases.
Yeah,
I was
that's
actually recently doing some basically generation for like patterns and stuff, and realized that in 1.13 I had to use 128 gigabytes to run a world.
Wow.
What?
But it had a Mandelbrot set floor, 10k by 10k that I was generating with my script.
I mean, that still seems like a lot of gigs to be
And the thing is, if you would unload these chunks, they would still keep the memory around. So
Right.
this is all from serialization to NBT, because it keeps those basically strings, and you can't really freeze strings. So that was the issue, and that still is the issue with 113.
Haven't understood the word there. Sorry.
Stuff happened, and it's
Yeah.
Okay, memory leaks.
Yeah, okay.
Memory leaks.
113 bad.
So
I
what
think they're
about,
fixing most of them in 14. 14, I think most
So-
of the performance bottlenecks are gone.
Yeah, so they actually fixed the tile entity duplication on the client side, so you can really run contraptions for a long time, and
Right,
they fixed it because they introduced campfires, and those campfires were actually duplicating themselves like every tick or every like 20 ticks, whatever. So this was causing massive problems. So by fixing campfires, they fixed all the other issues.
okay, well
with the
that's I mean that's good in a roundabout way. They kind of got there in the end.
Yep.
By
But
accident.
yeah. So am I hopping in another?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the way back.
Yeah, after this you're still gonna ride I think one piston bolt, the purple one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's no problem. These things are fun to ride. So with Minecraft 1.14 coming, is that an update that you'd consider moving on to if the performance problems are fixed, or
No.
So there is a significant problem that currently entities are only processed around the player in a very small radius around the player.
right?
So I showed a small video a couple days ago how you can build a mob suite just by dropping skeletons 60 blocks down.
Right.
And so like basically spawn chunks right now in 1.13, I don't think they process anything
Yeah,
unless
basically
there's a player.
entities are only processed around the player, which means that all full automation is impossible with like you always have to have a player, which
And
is
you
like
would see
a killer for-
essentially what do we mean by automation over here.
Steve, you're probably the person to ask about this. How's 14's performance?
Me?
Oh, he's muted.
I'm unmuted. Well, okay, so a lot of things are improved. One of the biggest performance problems in 1.13 was entity collision, and that's
50% better.
You cut out Theo. Rip,
Oh.
I guess.
He's been kidnapped.
Apparently.
His performance just went down. Oof.
He thought about 140 and directly rip.
But yeah, I think the 5 Pro. I guess I was there as well. The 5 Pro actually took a look at the hitboxes. I wanted to go back to AABB, but they shifted to something called some weird hitbox system that they homebrewed. But there was flaws in it, and they used kind of bad code. Then one of the coders and I can took a look at it to give suggestions. Then they took the suggestions and improved on it, and the hitbox calculations are actually far better now. So it's probably on par with 12, probably better. Okay. And then there was other problems with chunks not being loaded and being dropped. That got fixed. So it's like they did much back end that they are now trying to catch up on and rehash and fix and clean up. So by the time 14 releases, it's going to be far better than 13. Probably, maybe better than 12. No idea.
Yeah. Performance-wise,
there's still the major issue that they removed all chunk loading, which is a killer for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's like that's a killer because like we can't really do much without chunk loading.
We will come to the chunk loading issues at the last Witch Hut probably. Because
So I mean, are they showing any signs of I mean, I'm assuming you guys are in talks with a lot of the guys at Mojang. Is this something you've made clear to them that it's not good that they've removed that, and are they not really fussed by it?
Yeah,
it looks like they want to pull through with
community, I guess. We actually talked a lot with Doc about it in a live stream a few weeks back.
Yep.
And yeah, we're actually really worried about the situation Minecraft is heading at the moment.
Yep.
With all the stuff that's getting broken. For example, chunk loading. A friend of mine randomly asked me, how can I get a minecart through unloaded chunks? And then I asked him what version. 1.13. I said, pretty much rip. You could do it maybe with a bit of luck, but not really reliable.
Yeah.
And with 14, you couldn't do it at all.
And the developers don't understand that we as a technical community actually provide a lot of content to other players that are not crazy technical, of course, but also just, as I said, someone wants a minecart through unloaded chunks. We can do that because we know how to do it.
Yeah.
But he can't do it, and if he asks us and it's not possible anymore, I have to say to him, sorry, Minecraft is heading the wrong direction, right?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I think I was mentioning to you guys before is that the thing that most people aren't going to build the stuff that you guys build, but you guys being here is incredibly important because it just shows what is possible. Like you need at least some people working on things that are totally ridiculous and totally out there that make no sense to the average player. And if Minecraft are heading in a direction where the things that you guys are working on is kind of putting you off playing the newer versions of Minecraft, then I think that definitely hurts the wider community.
Yeah.
Next piston bolt we take is the Tiger bolt. That's on the north side, the one with the mossy couple.
Top layer.
Was it that
top layer north side mossy couple?
Like was it the magnificent?
Was that soul sand is not that is like the soul sand is no longer spawnable and basically nobody noticed
that was changed
because nobody played it.
We got that changed back. The issue still is so they randomly decided that they want to change soul sand. You couldn't place redstone dust on top of it anymore. Rails, all of that got removed. And then we talked to Rock and whatnot, and he tried to get it back as far as possible. So now you can still place rails, repeaters, comparators, all of that stuff on top of them, but they're no longer a solid block. So it won't conduct redstone power anymore, it won't suffocate mobs. It's just one of these completely random changes that no one really wanted, and this is the one part that makes soul sand unique.
Yeah.
It acts like a full block, but it really isn't. It's smaller than that. And it's just a Mojang way of doing things.
I mean, in general,
but on the other hand, we have basically pestered Rock about, for example, TNT or drop rate, and they changed it so it's now officially 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one, of course. They have the occasions where they actually do some good stuff too.
I was messing around just when the snapshot first released with the
Rego,
100%
look at that
operating
nice
TNT,
spoon.
and yeah, that makes total sense, and it's a lot of fun.
Fancy.
And it's very cool.
Oh, actually, one note, Mumbo. If you have two TNT exploding in the same time, the one basically can drop and basically drop items. Sorry, one can kill items from the other one.
Yeah, a lot of people mentioned that in the comment section that you guys have mentioned that.
Let me quickly write you a comment.
By the way, guys, now that we are here in the station, look at those nice fences. Manny and I had a super long discussion.
Multiple fights to the death about it.
Yeah, I mean, in general, like, actually, like, changing stuff isn't really an issue. A lot of the iron farmers I know were actually quite looking forward to building, like, new iron farms with the new village mechanics. But then implementing stuff
it was just
that's
removed.
like, yeah, just like not at all a valid replacement. The gameplay that it offers, the new village mechanics offer, it's like 10 minutes of work and you have a max iron farm.
Yeah,
like that's the issue. Like removing stuff isn't a problem. Fixing exploits isn't a problem in general. But just like removing them without a replacement is the problem.
Yeah, exactly. No, I 100% agree with that. The iron farm thing, as I say, I haven't actually seen any iron farms before I started talking to you guys. But when I mentioned it, you all kind of laughed, which I think.
I mean, it's literally.
We also don't want to sound like super annoyed by. No. I have to word it other way. We don't hate Minecraft for it. We all love Minecraft, right? But we feel that it's heading the wrong direction.
No, and you're totally within your bounds to say that. I mean,
we're just all very passionate about it. I mean, it's kind of obvious. This thing
I
is
don't want
kind
to
of
cry about it, but
when the snapshot came out. Took us like 2 hours until Skyrising read out all the code and we understood how the new system works, and then Mango just went over 80 blocks and made a 2x1 hole and threw in 60 villagers and it was done.
That's it, and that's done.
That's the fastest iron farm.
Yeah.
This is why I feel like Mojang needs like at least one of you guys to be working on the team who actually still like I don't know if he still plays the game, but actually plays the game to its like fullest extent.
Yeah, when you look at it where they all came from, they were mostly working on mods before or custom maps, but they don't have really a survival player that came from that part of the player base.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like they definitely need, because then they would have such a good insight as to actually how the vanilla players, like the people who play in vanilla and take this game to its fullest extent, actually play, and the sort of things that matter to them. Because, I mean, I remember when, I think in one of the snapshots, like 1-tick pistons were removed and things like that, and it's just, their response was maybe not the best, in that I think they said just use regular pistons, and...
Just use a glazed terracotta.
Oh man, that was...
Oh yeah, that was it.
Oh man, Grum is the biggest troll. Don't ever listen to Grum. He's the biggest troll of them all. Like, the guy is literally trolling everyone. He literally showed up in SciCraft and he just wanted to fix TNT duping just to troll the tech community.
Well, I mean, I mean, TNT duping is broken. Like, it shouldn't really exist, but it is so helpful.
Yeah, as long as there's no replacement, a pyramidal like that wouldn't be possible, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
You need movable TNT to make a pyramidal like this.
Yeah, that's what we always say.
It's possible, not on the time scale, though.
That's pretty much what we always say. We don't really love the exploits or anything. It's just the possibilities that are made possible. I don't know if you would remove now TNT duping, if you would get at least movable dispensers instead. So we could still do the same projects without any of the glitches. It would be still fine with that.
And then you would... Yeah, exactly. There you go. So, yeah, if you had movable dispensers, then you wouldn't need to duplicate the TNT, and you could create carpet bombers that don't use exploits. But right now, the only way that you can do it is by using exploits. So that's how you have to do it, because no one is going to mine out like 20 or 10 of these double witch huts with their 16 million block perimeters by hand.
Yes, I still have the schematic around here.
Yeah, we use...
Oh, it's IKEA one.
Schematic yesterday.
So it's an IKEA one. Is that what you're referring to it as?
Yep.
It's actually like that.
I also have the schematics below.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, this is the schematic name for the witch farm. Gravity block fill, aka the sand, was Swedish gravel fill.
Right.
Oh, Swedish flag.
Very, very cool.
Okay, now we should go over the redstone, maybe.
Yeah, wait.
Turn on the
Okay.
farms
Give it a bit
again.
of time.
I'm very curious to know how you're collecting the items.
I
here.
have Metal's helmet.
That's what
By
I'm most
hoppers,
interested
Mumbo.
about. Well,
We use
I know,
hoppers.
but where
Oh,
are all
such
these
a
items
troll.
going? Like, are they?
I think we're gonna show that next.
Okay.
I think it's Mango. It's your design, right?
The collection at the bottom, yeah.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for
Okay.
Rego now, and then
Just
we go.
Yeah, just give it another minute so we can, to finish the time lapse part.
Well, I mean, I'm in spectator mode inside one of the farms, and it seems to be working quite nicely. Lots of witches are falling through.
So in general, if you're in normal survival, stay in the middle, or in creative, yeah. In spectator, just fly.
Actually, with this perimeter, it doesn't matter because the corners of the slime platform are really far away from the edges.
Oh yeah, true.
So it actually doesn't matter that much.
Mumbo, let's just script that you ask the same question again. Where do all these drops go? And then we can explain.
Where do all these drops go?
Yeah, just wait a second until we're fully back and reassemble at the...
Okay. So I'll
One more time.
One more take two.
3, 2, 1, action.
Where do all these items go?
Perfect, but with more emotion.
Alright, one more time.
No,
Where
we
do all
start
these
the
items
Okay, so
go?
I'm back at the central part.
Okay.
Like just briefly in survival and then go into spectator again to,
Alright, so if I'm on the central platform up here.
Yep. Then you can be happily in survival.
Yep.
Is everyone back here? Mango?
Yeah, I'm spectator mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone's back here.
I'll just
Okay.
try to follow you.
And this time, like you mean it.
Okay.
One.
An enemy now, please. All right, let's resume in 3, 2, 1. All right, so we've made it to the last double witch hut here, and yeah, we'll go through some more details, I guess. I hope you enjoyed so far the tour through all the different farms.
Yeah, they all look totally ridiculous. I like the color schemes on all of them. It's I mean, I can't even fathom how long this would take to do all of these things. I really don't know how you do it.
All right, so shall we take a closer look at them?
Yeah, go
I
for
guess
it.
someone will have to stay in the center, and
I'll stay here.
otherwise
No, I'll stay.
we have to use spectator mode here. We are anyways on a copy, but
Yep.
yeah, we have to use spectator mode just to not spawn stuff outside. Well, in this perimeter it would work, but so
Yeah,
just so we
yeah.
can really see what's going on.
Right, so I can see. Okay, yeah, there's plenty of witches falling through the bottom of this thing.
Yep.
So
So
all
with
those-
the shifting floors on top, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And so
then-
where are all the items? So the items are landing on the soul sand, which is covered in buttons, and then they're all going down, I guess, into these.
Sorters?
What are these things?
Sorters.
Filters.
So there's a combined item sorter and shulker box filler.
Right. Okay.
So since we have we dupe shulker boxes on the server, so we have a kind of unlimited amount of them. We store
Yeah.
everything in shulker boxes because it makes it easier to transport.
Absolutely.
But as you can see, there's no storage here. So everything is just getting stored in those shulker boxes, which are then broken and fall down into the water stream once filled up. So
And
maybe if we
they
follow
just-
that water stream.
They just go into the nether by the looks of things.
Yep. So yeah, we've been
So what-
spending quite some time traveling to all of those destinations. It would be way too tedious if we ever need items just to go here. So that's why we
Yeah,
actually
absolutely.
have a central witch farm storage. Maybe if we go through the portal next, can see how we transport the shulker box then through the nether dimension. We should actually mention that we don't send every single box through the nether. So maybe if you look at the redstone system here, we fill up a complete chest.
Yep.
So this is under the quartz there. Once it's completely filled up, then we send a batch into the portal, so we don't activate the whole transportation system for each shulker box each time.
Right, that makes sense. Oh yeah, because that would be pretty laggy, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So every about 10 hours it takes until the double chests fill up, we send a batch through. Okay, let's go to the nether.
What on earth is this thing?
This is the room is just for dug out, because then we can see the redstone. And the redstone is mostly for chunk load. So we chunk load the area. So every chunk that you want to process entities in has to have a 5x5 area of chunks around it loaded.
Right.
So in order for the boxes to get picked up, because they obviously arrive as items from the nether portal, we have to load a 5x5 around them, and then they get picked up by this hopper minecart and get transported into this dropper line here.
That makes sense. And this dropper line, is this a super fast dropper line
It's
by the looks of things?
10 meters per second dropper line.
It's 100 meters.
100 meters
80.
of course.
Oh, 80, sorry.
80.
Basically, we could build a instant dropper line all the way to around spawn from here.
Yep.
But then we would need to load all the chunks at once, and that would cause lag spikes.
Yep,
So
of course.
we slowly load the chunks along the dropper line and just get them through in 80
And
blocks
since
per
the
second.
dropper lines are thousands of blocks long, the end of the start of the dropper line can already start unloading, while it actually still has items in it that are traveling through it. It's much more efficient to not do it instantly.
Maybe don't go too far down the dropper line, because it goes all the way up to spawn, and
We could actually just follow the dropper line in spectator mode to see the scale
just
of it.
fly through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I started flying down there.
Yeah, it's
because
okay,
I was
Mumbo.
jealous.
Just continue.
if you run out of rocket, somebody will have more.
Just gonna fly along here in spectator with a bit of a higher speed, because this is insanely long.
Yeah, this might have been a bad
If you want to
idea
open the F3 screen, that's even in the nether, it's like over 7,000 blocks that we need to cover.
Right.
I guess
So the
I
same
guess-
distance as
one
we
direction,
traveled with the
3,000 in the
bolts,
other.
we have a second tunnel for droppers.
So
From
that-
all the
that
witches.
is- I mean, I suppose this looks like it'll be easier to build than the bolts. I feel like this looks a little bit simpler.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, to have both those things running, or both those things built up.
Yeah, but it's still better than the alternative to go to the witch farms and grab the materials each time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we have about 20 kilometers of these dropper lines, I think.
That's a horrendous number. That's just I can't even. I don't know. I'm losing all perspective of what projects are big in Minecraft at this point in time, because you say 20 kilometers and you've just said that you've got like how many kilometers of piston bolts did you say?
I think around 50 or
Right. Yeah.
more.
So I mean that's just that's just totally ridiculous. That's a ridiculous number of blocks and a ridiculous project to do.
Yeah, so at the end we would arrive at a junction here.
Yep.
From the other side there's this coming dropper line from another witch hut, and they all pretty much merge up, and then we basically go back to the nether hub. We follow that dropper line. So we would need to take a right turn here, so towards -x. So yeah.
Just always make sure your coordinates are going towards 0, 0
Yep.
again.
Okay. That's a good rule to follow. Well, I've just gone in. I just flew into like unloaded chunks. Then that was.
Yeah, the TPS is really bad because a lot of people are flying around
Oh yeah.
areas.
No, it is.
So the redstone line we passed that went over top the dropper line is actually the redstone line for the mob switch, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So what does that mean? What exactly does that mean?
The mob switch is basically load mobs outside of your render distance of the entity processing chunks.
Right.
So you don't have mobs spawning around you. And we have that in all dimensions. So if
You can
earlier I
switch
logged
mob
in my
spawning on
account.
and off.
Yeah. Earlier I logged in my account, flipped the lever at spawn, and we put shulkers into the lazy chunks around spawn.
Right. Okay.
And
that stops.
those are loaded then, and that stops spawning all on everywhere on the server in the overworld. And we also have the same for the Nether and the End, but there we use Blazes and Enderman, of course.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I've reached something.
So we had some technical difficulties at the end of flying through the instant dropper line system in the Nether, because a lot of people were spread around loading chunks, and the server just ran out of memory and we had to restart. Unfortunately, also my OBS recording for some reasons just stopped and I lost a 20-minute clip. Rego helped me out and sent me his footage for the next 20 minutes, so that's why we're seeing the video from Rego's perspective. But we'll switch back later to my perspective.
We've almost all made it back. Some people are still struggling. So we're very close here to our Nether hub. And yeah, well, here's our central storage. Obviously it's not here in the Nether, but yeah, our Nether hub, actually you can just slightly see it up there. But yeah, that's where all the shulker boxes then go when they come through the Nether. So here's just the dropper line coming in and, well, chunk loading grid around it, and then we shoot it into a portal. And I suggest we head to the other side and take a look at that.
Alright, I'm curious. I also appreciate the fact that you guys mined out this massive area because you were bored. I find that very impressive.
I mean, I think some of us have like over 2 million netherrack from this area.
That's so crazy.
I'm at 5.
5 million.
Yeah. Anyways, so
you should ask him for us blocks.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have here also a chunk loading grid again to temporarily load this area whenever items arrive. And yeah, well, thanks. And yeah, you can see there's basically an item elevator going up, and maybe you can already guess from down here what the storage is.
Yeah, actually, Rego, there's a bit more to explain, because this chunk loading grid not only turns on the storage, we also, because of the way Minecraft works in 1.12, we also have to make sure that the chunk loading grid doesn't unload in order to not break the redstone on top.
Right.
That's why in the northeast corner, you can also see an instant line going towards the server spawn, activating a perma loader. So we actually got another line here just to make sure that the chunk loading line doesn't break. Over 3,000 blocks, basically saving the system from crashing.
Wow.
And we got mob spawning.
Oh yeah, we don't have a mob switch on.
Yeah, just turned it on again.
Okay.
At the moment. So
yeah, that's kind of
dangerous.
Really weird. Not having a mob switch is just not used to it.
It's really weird. You get used to mob switches so quickly. It's really good to not have mob spawning.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. And so you do that by just loading a bunch of entity or a bunch of mobs in the lazy chunks around your spawn chunks then?
Yes.
Yeah, we have around I think 600 shulkers there.
Right. Okay.
Shulkers because they don't despawn if you go near them or leave the area, and they count towards the mob cap. There are only Shulkers, Elder Guardians, and Withers in that case, and all the other two are quite tedious.
Ender Dragons too, actually.
Yeah, but you only have one.
I would. That would be something else if you guys.
No, actually, you can make an Ender
anyway,
Dragon.
guys, let's head upstairs and continue with that part.
Yep.
Okay.
So
is it fly straight upwards?
Just fly straight up.
Then we also
until
got
we
the
can
quality
land somewhere.
control, Rego. Maybe should I explain that part?
Yeah, let me just try to... I got some ender pearls. It's probably easier for the last part. Dang it. Yeah,
So
not the
where's
easiest
a
thing to
good
move
place
around.
To stand here? Because, I mean, as someone
Spectator mode.
Probably best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go through in spectator mode now. Yeah, that seems wise.
It also gives you an
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, Rego should explain it?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so we got the shulker boxes, in this case incoming through the dropper elevator, and then first we check if we actually got a shulker box. So we try to fill the item into another shulker box. A normal item goes in there, obviously another shulker box, can we put another shulker box. So all the items that are not a shulker box get sorted out, put in this chest here.
Right.
And then we also have further control if the shulker box is completely filled up, because sometimes when you build a new storage, a hopper lands in a system or whatnot. So then we also check if the striker box is completely filled up for signal string 15. If not, it also gets put in a box in there. And then finally, if everything is all right, it's put into the storage here.
Yeah.
And we basically got the 7 different item types you get from the witches. But we still need to sort it in. In order to do that, we take one item out of the shulker box.
Yep.
Run it over this filter system here. If the items get picked up by the hopper, then the shulker box, which parallelly also gets put through the dropper system, also gets put into that slot, and the items is put back into the shulker box, and that's how we kind of sort filled shulker boxes in this case.
Right. I mean, and this is your storage on the opposite side.
That's then the storage on the opposite side, yeah.
Okay, so I can see that as you mentioned earlier on, the redstone is currently empty, but glowstone is. I mean, you have a decent amount of glowstone. I think that goes without saying. I mean, when you say you're out of redstone, apparently there's a few shulkers there. So if there are,
I've been AFKing yesterday a little bit.
I mean,
that's crazy. So I mean, I like the fact that because for me, I mean, having a few shulker boxes filled with redstone, I'd kind of be alright with that. I'd feel pretty confident. Whereas you guys forget that you have a few shulker boxes of redstone lying around, and you need to have a full storage system to be happy.
Once when I cleared up the server, I picked up like 10 shulker boxes full of redstone blocks that were just left over the server because no one cared about them.
I mean, that's got to be crazy. So with this storage, I mean, it's around about nearly 100,000 items per double chest, isn't it? When they're filled with shulker boxes.
103,000.
So each item type, you can store 5 million here.
Nice.
How did you guys go through the wall? What the hell?
I broke the...
Ender pearls near the chest.
Yeah,
Spider
so
eyes. Got plenty of those. Glass
I mean,
bottles.
we mostly use the redstone because we have an ongoing project that needs 1 million redstone, and we kind of crafted it all.
That's
we
a
still
lot of
need
redstone.
need about 250k redstone for that project.
So I mean, you know, just talking in rough numbers here, how long will it take in just farming hours to get 1 million redstone? Is that horrendous, or is that
60 hours?
What? 60 hours? That's nothing.
Yeah, that's a bit over 2 days.
And then you
Just the problem is a lot of people are playing on the server, and it is kind of hassle to turn on all the witch farms, so we don't AFK too often. We plan to change that in the future, completely fill up the redstone storage as well, but it's still, if you want to do that, it's 300 hours of AFKing, and yeah, this is quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that makes sense, but still, I mean, when you actually kick all farms into gear, for it to
It's glorious.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, we have a...
Alright. So, guys, shall we head upstairs and...
No, there's still a little crafting system here.
Ah, yeah.
So in case we want to have redstone blocks, then we have a little crafting system here, glowstone blocks. You can just put shulker boxes in there, press a button to dispense them, and also... We haven't actually never used it so far. So we just take out the items, craft it over there, put it in the shulker box here, and then we can take it out of the chest, which is quite convenient. So we got a shulker box crafting system here.
Yeah, and really fast also.
One more thing that we didn't mention yet is since some of the items fill up more than others because we use less of them, or the sticks drop double, we actually have switches at every witch farm where we can just like say we don't want to collect this type of item anymore, and once we are full here, we probably turn off the sticks and so on, so we don't need to send it through Nether and all that chunk loading and whatever. So
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because then you don't want to be. That's just going to add to the lag, I guess. But yeah, oh man, this is crazy. And this storage system, actually considering it stores 5 million items per item kind of thing, it's actually pretty small. It's not too crazy.
Yeah, but
it's
also
impressive.
It's shulker box storage.
You like elevators, right, Mumbo?
Well, this looks totally ridiculous.
if you see that button over there in the wall and push
Using
that,
minecart.
there's a
Somebody has a
hole
bad
in the
ping
wall.
and can use the minecart.
I actually can't see the button anywhere.
Right over
There's
Oh,
a
there
hole
it is.
in the wall.
Yep. Press that.
All right, you just wait. I'm gonna fall through the floor. We all know it.
Yeah, just
Why
don't
I get in
move.
the minecart?
Don't move,
And
that's better.
Very cool.
Look to your right. Look to your right. Oh, I love the place.
Wow. So you've
Okay.
got a gigantic. So wait, is this a witch hut?
Yes.
Yep.
1 to 16 scale.
Ding ding ding.
There's one in front for reference, and it's 1 to 16, the scale.
All right, hang on. I will
16 to 1,
yeah.
yeah.
16, well, sorry. I can't math.
Okay, let's get myself some fireworks, and then I'll shoot out the front because this I'm curious about. Oh, you guys didn't even give me a silk touch pickaxe. Unbelievable.
Oh, sorry.
Really? There was one, I think.
Wait, we have pickaxes that don't have silk touch?
Yeah, I gave him some because we do the RNG later.
Ah, don't spoil it.
Fortune pick. Sorry.
My render distance isn't far enough to actually like get the full impression of this thing. This is totally ridiculous. So is the storage? So the storage system is actually in the base of the witch hut, is it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Wait, we wasted one witch hut. What is this?
And even such
It's
a
actually
big
a
one.
functional one, right?
Yeah, it's
Rip.
full blown witch hut.
Oh, who's just died there?
Oh, Fox again.
For fuck's sake. What did you mess up this time?
This is impressive. This is super cool.
Also, all the internals are in place for the witch hut, by the way. Like the cauldron,
got-
the...
For example, the mushroom that's not actually there in Java 1.12.
Yeah.
It's future proof, man.
Yeah.
So this is the cauldron, and yeah, this is fully formed.
It's also everything here is spawn proof, of course. So no mobs spawn around you. That's why slabs and carpets are here on top. Yeah.
That's sweet. So is
That's
that
our storage.
So this is all mob proof? What, because of the mob switch, or because it's just mob proofed?
Mob
It's
proof.
mob proof.
Because it's just mob proofed.
Yeah,
Because why not?
that makes sense.
I often go there while the witch farms are running, for example.
Man.
Yeah, ton of slabs. I think.
Yeah, that must have been a lot of slabs actually. Yeah, I mean, as I say, you start to lose touch with how big these builds are. Like this in of itself is a pretty enormous build. But after I've seen 20 witch huts and piston bolts and item transportation systems and storage systems, I'm not that impressed anymore.
I mean,
Okay,
I think we.
so, guys, shall we
We
move
hyped
on?
it too much. Rip. Yes.
I think it took like. I think we did this whole witch hut in like one evening.
Nah.
One
It was
evening
2
for
evenings.
the main part because there was like after server tour or something. We got.
This widget was 1 week at least.
I don't think
Yes.
so, because like
yes, definitely.
the walls
I
were
mean,
actually.
Panic. I think Panic and me designed at least for one day total
Yeah.
the 16 times bigger block formats down. Because
We
it's actually
definitely
copied.
took a week for it. Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
So
Really?
how do you come up with ideas for this sort of thing? Do you all get together and talk about it, or does someone just start doing it?
At some point, I think I just said we have this gigantic witch hut project. Why don't we store it all in a gigantic witch hut?
Yep.
Yeah, we just did it.
And then you just do it. That's amazing. That's so cool.
I think Enemy had the idea to actually do the central storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
who came up with the idea to do this ridiculous witch farm project? Or was
Well,
that just
we needed redstone. It was kind of obvious.
Yeah.
It's necessity.
Kind of evolved. In the beginning, we just planned to, I don't know, add another double witch hut. Then why not another one? And yeah.
We did
What's
the
better
lag
than
research.
Then we found out about the stone block generation, so we save on lag, and then we build more and more.
No.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember what it was. It was Doug that had 6 witch huts, and we wanted to just one-up them. And then this is how it started.
Yep. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that mentality. Just friendly competitiveness. Just gradually trying to beat the other servers.
But then when you realize that you can actually bring the lag down to a certain degree, the question is, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can understand that. And now that you've got it down to a fine science as well, where you can build them within a relatively manageable space of time between all of you, yeah, it makes sense to just build 10 of them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, actually, next Saturday we're probably gonna add another 2.
Oh, really? So you're never satisfied? I mean, when does this
currently
end?
we actually had another piston bolt. So we have 2 more piston bolts already for destinations. I think we're gonna settle at 24 currently with 20.
Right. Okay. 24 for now, but then potentially add more things in the future. I mean, you have just
Maybe
run out
I
of
was-
redstone, so clearly it's not enough.
We have something else to show. Maybe we don't need the witch farms anymore.
Oh yeah. So I
move
suggest,
on.
since we are already dragging on for quite a bit, let's move on and.
Yeah, enough.
Now
I think.
I'm really curious as to what this is. Have you guys shown this yet, or is this
Nope.
unshown?
Unshown.
That's
Okay.
first time. So
Climb up the ladder.
yeah, and then don't fly
Oh,
out
there is a
right
video
away.
on it. There is a video.
Don't fly out.
Don't
Right, well,
fly
I can
out.
see some
Fly up.
ghasts.
Stand on the glass if you are in survival mode. If you're a spectator, you can fly around.
Okay.
And on the glass chunk.
This seems odd.
So
Yeah,
after
and-
we built like the 8th witch farm, I think XCOM 2 and a bunch of other people added this here.
I have to turn on the mob switch real quick. Give me a second.
Off.
Yeah, off of course.
Probably the people recording should really go in spectator and go close.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? So just go into spectator mode and then what? Approach the
Yeah.
ghast?
Yeah.
Approach the ghasts.
Yeah, just take a look at that.
Get close to the ghasts and then stuff will happen.
Okay, mob switch is off. Just give it a minute or a few
Oh,
seconds.
this is
so-
gonna take a while.
Is it on?
I don't know.
Maybe start it if it's.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait a little bit. It's a bit finicky.
Okay,
Wait,
mob
if someone-
switch
background
is
first.
on now. Off.
Still 600.
Wait.
Okay,
oh, this-
maybe because my player was still loading.
Yeah, then
Can
we
you
need to
try
wait
again?
until the chunks unload.
Is it? I don't remember.
Okay.
Is it on or off now? I think we're supposed. I think we're supposed to flick the lever.
The mobs are still loaded. Nothing will
The
happen.
I see.
lever does nothing, XCOM. Oh no, it does actually. I'm just an idiot.
Okay. Mob
Let's go.
still loaded?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Someone is in
Just
the.
disable.
Oh,
Oh, there
whoa.
we go.
And short
Not
leg
done.
spike.
Not quite
No.
there yet.
Is there anyone in the nether side? Because it can't crash the server if there is no one in the nether side.
Gonna go there.
What on earth is happening here?
Takes a second to stop lagging the hell out, and then
It's
it will go to full speed.
Yeah, it's not even running yet,
This
but you
is
can
the
already
weirdest.
This
get
is
an idea of what's happening.
This is the weirdest thing ever.
no,
I
it's not
don't-
working, guys.
I don't get
Why
it.
is it not working?
Magic.
Takes a little bit of time. Just give it a minute.
It's getting like little spurts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's because people are moving around.
Yeah, don't move around.
Don't move.
Okay, okay.
It's actually not magic, it's just normal mob spawning.
But why is it only witches?
All completely
it's-
normal here.
It's really special.
Yeah, it's not even a witch hut.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you have no witch hut here.
I mean, the witches spawn everywhere, yeah?
That's true, but
Not working, guys.
I don't think it works at the moment. I think it has to be
Wait,
restarted.
did someone flick the lever to turn it off again? Wait. Okay, I'm turning the lever off.
Okay.
And now everyone stand still, please.
Yeah, stand still.
Don't load chunks.
It's
Even
quite
in spectator.
delicate.
Wait. I flicked the lever, nothing happened. Is the server?
Theo, stand still, please.
Wait, why can't I flick the lever?
I think you should be able to. Just
Is some...
press
Why-
shift.
I can't interact with this lever. What's going
Coming
on?
over.
Really lost.
Let's go.
You want me to try?
Okay,
Yes,
thanks.
it works.
Something is wrong with my client or something.
Can't
can't
click a lever, that guy.
Get good.
Oh my god. Stop with the salt.
Ah, man, the hype is building up.
Okay, no touchy.
Come on.
Come on, work.
Yeah, it's such a finicky design.
Tension rising.
Such a tease.
I think there is a
Ah,
restart.
That looked like it. I mean, it's almost like it's like booting up and then shutting itself off.
Yeah, it is in a way.
I think
That's
that's
a
because
creeper.
people are moving around.
Oh wow. Actually got a single creeper for once.
I think
That
we
was
need
just a random spawn.
I think we need a restart, to be honest.
Yeah, let's restart the server, I guess.
Oh
does-
no!
Oh,
Oh,
it looks
there
good.
we go.
Oh, no, it's sort of picking up. It's
Yeah,
not
there's
quite
someone
yet.
moving around.
Is someone moving around?
Nope.
Like unloading the thing or something?
Yeah, I was moving around to check if it's broken the wire or something.
Oh man, Tuno, come back up here. What the hell?
It doesn't really matter if I move like one chunk.
There
we go.
There we
we
go.
go.
We got it.
Wait. No. No, this shouldn't exist in Minecraft. This doesn't make any sense.
I mean, technically, mobs spawn every tick. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and witches can spawn in the overworld anywhere, where it's dark.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is completely normal.
Yeah, exactly. I've been saying that all the time. No one is listening.
This
What is
is
this?
not completely normal. Can someone explain what exactly is happening here?
This is how
XCOM, that's your point. Come on, explain.
XCOM.
Okay, I'll explain it very concisely. Nudge intended it this way.
Come on.
This is how the game was supposed to be played.
Try to explain it
It
now.
just took 10 years for people to figure it out. I mean, this is what he
Seriously.
intended.
Basically, the mob spawning
Okay,
is
I'll simplify.
dependent on random calls. So,
Okay,
okay.
I'll simplify. The gist is that the game needs to figure out where to spawn mobs, but obviously computers aren't fully random. There is a structure to computers, and making a completely random system is impossible. So the thing is, when you use a randomizer in the game, you should keep in mind when you're programming that you shouldn't make it exploitable. And they forgot a line or so and left an exploit in the game. And that is the exploit is that the randomizer can be reset, and you use that reset to create witch huts, for example, and other structures such as mansions and stuff. But you can trigger that reset every time you load a chunk, and if you know how the reset behaves, then you can get the same outcome every single game tick. And if you know that if, for example, a specific chunk loads and you get a witch hut to spawn in a specific location, you can just reset that event every single game tick, just like a command block.
Right.
So basically, we're manipulating the random number generator that spawns witches to spawn them in every single game tick in that specific spot.
That's crazy. And I mean, is there any way that you could explain to me how you did this, or is this hidden information? Or...
It's more or less code digging and coding related.
No, we brute force.
Explained it.
We brute force this. We used big brains.
Basically, the random number generator is reset every time you load a chunk in a special region in the overworld. So we just load a chunk every tick in the overworld.
That's not what he asked. He asked how we figured it out.
Which means that for every tick that we do that, we have a very predictable basically turn of events. So we know exactly where the game will try to spawn which mob. We can do it to a certain extent, and essentially at certain locations you can say this will be always place where.
To know you're
witches
moving
would
around.
Spawn. So by moving around, you are essentially influencing this random number generation, which messes everything up. But if everybody stays still, the game will every tick try to spawn a witch exactly in the same place. It's like a Groundhog Day.
A pack of witches,
every
actually.
tick. Yes,
That's actually
so
spawning.
like a Groundhog Day every tick.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, but I think Mumbo, you asked how this was figured out or stuff.
Yeah.
I guess the short, concise version of it is that this RNG manipulation is very common. This is a very typical thing to use in many other games. I think CS:GO had many problems with people RNG hacking, and they could like predict how to shoot people and stuff. And old games like Pokemon and stuff, especially Atari games, like people have like dissected the game and like read line by line how it should behave, like the random generator how it behaves, and they can get the same event, and they can speed run and stuff. Speedrunners have used this exploit many times, but it wasn't exactly very common in Minecraft. And then the first person actually looked into random manipulation was back in the day when people actually wanted to brute force and fire quad witch hunts, but no one had done it in real time running until Earth looked into what is called enchantment tables. And then after April, a person called Amiga just randomly posts a video where his world like has many lightnings. And then like all the code diggers went nuts over this, and we just all went over to MCP and we just started to code dig, and like one afternoon later we had like figured out basics of RNG manipulation, and then it took another month to figure this stuff out.
And I mean, this project right here, is this a complicated thing to build, or is it not that complicated?
There is a tool now you can put in what mob you want, and then it spits out the location you have to build stuff, basically on your seed. So building it is super easy, actually, if you have the tool available that you can download now. So you just need those guys to push them over into a portal. That's it. And on the nether side, we kill them. We can actually go through now. Maybe.
And mob spawning is not the only thing you can influence with this random number generation manipulation.
You can influence stuff like lightning.
Ice generation.
Ice generation is different.
Yeah, crazy. Can we real quick say
what's the rates of this farm, or of this one witch hut?
Like 75 normal witch farms.
So
it's
basically what you're saying is that you building those 20 witch huts was totally pointless then?
Yes, but we never run that farm here ever because it's too cheaty for us.
Yeah, me and Tuno and Nessie trolled the server. They were doing a witch hut perimeter, and we were building at the same time.
That's trolling on SciCraft.
So,
and in terms
you
of the
guys
rate,
don't actually use this thing. You don't like it.
The issue is with this concept, it would replace every mob farm. This would replace
that would kill all the fun with making all of this.
It would replace every iron farm too. You can do this with iron golems.
Yeah.
And get a over 200,000 iron per hour. Like,
this
and
is
there's other stuff.
One pack of basically, this is essentially one pack of witches per tick, so 20 packs per tick
per second.
Per second.
And are Mojang planning on patching this at all?
They already broke.
This was invented basically after Mojang had patched it. It was invented in 13. It was already fixed because they were tampering with the chunk loading, and by the time it was invented, it was already patched. But 13 hadn't been released. So basically, when 13 released, 2-3 months later, if 13 wasn't unstable and people didn't actually dislike playing 13, this would have never been this would have been basically forgotten.
Yeah.
But because people still play 12 and we're stuck in 12, we are stuck with RNG.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it is worth asking: are there any RNG exploits in 1.13, or are they kind of
Enchanting tables can still be manipulated. I think you can RNG exact chance.
Right.
There's theories. People have theorized, but it's completely pointless.
Right.
It's also still in the development. Just recently, XCOM and a bunch of others started to do random tick RNG, so who knows where this leads in 2 years.
It's all 1.12, so basically all that content is gone for us if we update.
Yeah.
One more thing to mention. This random seed reset only works because they wanted to make sure that if you open a seed on multiple times, that the dimensions and other things like that are always the same location. That's why they do that reset.
So without that, they wouldn't have been fixed then.
I think it's because they wanted also mentions in older worlds, right? So if you go somewhere and there is a dark oak forest, then a mansion could spawn there even if there wasn't one before. So basically, if you load a chunk, it tries to check for a mansion. Or if a mansion should spawn, and that's basically, since the mansion regions
it's also
are so
needed
big
because
and they are
it's
the
bigger
last
than
of
one
the
chunk.
code.
I don't actually know exactly why Notch chose to use the world random. There is a distinct random that you could have used that was different than the world one. Thing is that there is ways to circumnavigate these bugs. Oh wait a second, what happened?
We turned it off.
We turned it off.
Oh, okay. But they fucked up with the. Maybe I shouldn't be swearing, but Notch messed up. He used the wrong random object. He basically, in code, it was a one-line change, because he chose the wrong random. This happens. If he chose the right one, it wouldn't have happened. So it's a very small, subtle change. Very small one-liners. You forget one apostrophe here or something like that, and this happens.
Yeah.
Just to make this clear again, this is just 1800 chunks of redstone lines that turn on and off. That's all what this does.
So 1800 chunks of redstone lines. What?
Yeah. So basically, we have multiple redstone lines that in total load in an amount of 1800 chunks.
Can we show the chunk loading real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, is that down underneath the floor?
Yeah, the portal where you came out under the glass, and then just fly down and follow the redstone line.
Oh yeah, that room is really decorated. It's the prettiest thing I've ever made in Minecraft, and they don't want to show.
Guess who made it?
So, I can't see any redstone lines at the minute, other than.
I can get you there.
Oh yeah, no, I can see them. So what? So this just runs. It
just goes back and forth in a snake pattern to save on some space. That's all it is. These redstone lines just turn on and they load the chunks, and that does all the magic.
So essentially, every time you load one chunk, it essentially resets that random number generator. That's why you want to load those chunks one by one with certain delays, and just so you have this reset of this random number generator every tick.
Right. Yeah, and also it's 1800 chunks because every 15 seconds the game unloads all of those chunks and then it starts over.
Yeah, I should also mention that this device was developed me, Tuno, and Earth, and Nessie helped out a little bit. And this particular thing over here with the hopper and the dropper and stuff, it's Tuno's design and stuff. And this is Wout's autosave detector, so it's I guess a collection of many things put together, and then the redstone circuit is the abstract thing that happens in the game. That was code digging. That was but the redstone stuff and whatnot. The engineering part was a little bit more complicated than the code digging. The code digging is actually very subtle and simple. If you
compare this for a double witch hut, 16 million removed blocks. I mean, this is actually nothing.
It's absolutely. By now,
you can also just use chests. Because chests also load chunk every single tick if you place them at the chunk border.
They load 2 chunks every tick.
Okay, they load 2 chunks, yes. But we also did that somewhere else on the server, but we come back to that later in the full tour.
Also, you don't have to put this underground just because they want to hide it from us.
Yeah, we were digging it into the ground and keeping this secret, and then it was all spoiled because the whole thing turned on during like a stream or something. What went wrong? The whole grid turned on by accident.
You have to imagine, right? We're doing this marathon live stream to make one of those witch huts, right? It's like 18 hours or whatever. We're all exhausted, and then XCOM is like, "Hey, I want to show you something." And then for the very first time, he shows us this thing. It's like 75 times faster than what we spent last 18 hours on, and basically makes all the work
meaningless, right? That is very, very funny.
That was funny.
What was your reactions to it? Was it happiness or disgust?
It was craziness.
I get it really rare that I am stunned by Minecraft content, and that time it happened. I couldn't play Minecraft for 3 days straight because I was so stunned by all the technology. It was not only that mob farm, but also 3 other videos for Iron Farm and so on, and I haven't heard anything about it and was so stunned about it.
I mean, I would say from
again.
From a technical standpoint and just from like all this code digging that has been done, and everyone loves it. I mean, it's super crazy, and this is exactly our thing. But rather quickly, most of us went into like, we actually don't want to use this.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to replace everything we ever did, you know? It's like, hey, we have a super fast mob farm, yeah, but you can RNG it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, in a way, it's good that it's patched. Then, I mean, I'd never seen this before, and it's totally blown my mind. But yeah, that makes it so that every single farm is exactly the same, and you just have to do the same thing for every single one.
At least for mob farming. There's other parts of the game you can RNG manipulate, and we're totally fine using those.
Right.
Alright, so this was quite a bit of a lengthy tour for a large project, bands all over the world here. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Mumbo, hope you enjoyed the tour. And thanks for joining us here.
No problem.
So with that, I'll say see you next time, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.